We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. The return of the most legendary crash out that we have witnessed in modern day boxing history continues. Team Haney now accusing several fighters of possibly cheating or insinuating that they are cheating. This video, I'm going to take you through it, explain what I think, but let me start with what was stated. Boom. Bill Haney. What's up with these fighters enrolling in VADA? Is Jose Ramirez, Ryan Garcia, and Rolly Ramiro tapering off or getting cold feet? Wow. And then post Devin Haney's VADA test showing that he passed and he was negative for the presence of, you know, any PEDs in that particular test. Wow. Is this what it has come to for Team Haney? Like, I need to really understand this. At first, you know, it was rather funny, but this is just getting sad to me, where now you have Bill Haney, who he's insinuating that everybody's cheating, throwing that out there. You've decided to sue Ryan Garcia, right? Like, this is what it's come to, people. This is what it's come to. Now, I'll give you guys more insight. It's remarkable. So, again, he posted Devin Haney showing that Devin Haney passed a collection that was made January 9th and he's negative. Fine. Devin is not on anything. He got tested. It showed that, like, for starters, let me say this. In boxing, you're not supposed to be on anything. That's for starters. So, to me, this is not anything worth bragging about. This is like the normal, like, this is nothing to brag about, I guess you could say. This is what it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be on any kind of banned substances, especially if you have an upcoming fight. So for me, this is not anything that's praiseworthy. It should be the norm, right? So the Haneys keep this, I don't even know what to call it other than a crash out. They keep alluding to basically everybody being on something except for them. And to me, it actually looks suspicious. I know, I haven't even looked, but I know the comments are probably not favorable. Let's look. F VADA, they could use other agencies. Shut up about VADA. Marshmallow, I don't even know what that means. Anybody connected to Victor Conti is a bum. Nobody wants to sign with the drug testing company that you and Victor Conti own. There's plenty of other organizations besides VADA. Nice. They all see how much praise Ryan got off cheating to win. I'm not reading this. I mean, what? So they feel it's no longer needed. So, I mean, this is what it's come to. This is such a bad play, bro. Now, I get it. Nobody wants to be cheated. Nobody wants to feel cheated. Nobody wants to be in a fight where they don't think the person ran a fair one. I get it. But now, what are you going to do without proof? You're going to attach everybody else's name to smut, guys like Rolly, guys like Jose Ramirez, and people who had nothing to do with Ryan Garcia failing, and guys who have never failed themselves. Ryan has only failed once. Not that that's, you know, some claim to fame, but that's the reality of it. But even in Ryan's failure to pass his PED test. What does that got to do with Rolando Rolly Romero? He never failed a drug test. He had big fights like Pitbull Cruz. He had Tank Davis fights. He's never, to our knowledge, failed. Same thing with Jose Ramirez. So this looks in poor taste and very distasteful to speculate by Bill Haney saying, oh, are these guys tapering off? Jose Ramirez and Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero. At best, maybe just put Ryan's name, since he's the only one out of the three people you mentioned that has actually failed before. But to include everybody else's name based on speculation looks crazy. The other thing that looks insane is Bill Haney has oftentimes, likened himself to a street dude. Said, oh, man, I'm from a rough part, rough street, deep East Oakland, yee, this type of deal. I'm 50-0 in the streets, but now you coming across as like the police. You coming across as 12 because you're trying to police the game on drug testing. Should sports be clean? Yes. But what is he, Frank Castle? He's the Punisher, and he's going to go through boxing and, shine a light on everybody and accuse everybody of being on something that doesn't do this 365, 24/7 testing that his boy is doing. I mean, it looks bad. It looks lame. It looks corny. Again, I'm no dummy. There are people who haven't been caught that are cheating. I get that. But it's a big issue to tackle, and you have to have some type of influence over the game. Devin is in the worst part of his career. He's not going to influence the game and get people to sign up for this year-round testing. So now it seems like the Haneys are on this plight to accuse everybody that doesn't do it, or like to Victor Conte's putting out all these tweets about how drugs are bad. We know drugs are bad. We want clean fights. I'm a fan. Of course, I want a clean fight, but this ain't it. This ain't the way to go about it. By taking a Jose Ramirez coming off a loss and just insinuating that he's on something, or Rolly. Because here's the thing, Rolly, you're not even fighting him. You're not. I said the opponent should be switched on the Riyadh season. Ryan should be fighting Jose Ramirez, and Devin should be fighting Rolly. Devin needs to show that he has the ability to get away from people's hooks and deal with aggressive power punchers. So I think it would actually have been better, which I've often said, if their opponents were crisscross, right? And Devin fought Rolly. But that's not what they said is going to happen. So why are you worried about Rolly, and your son is fighting Jose Ramirez off of a loss, not Rolly? So why did you even include Rolly's name? If Ryan fought Rolly, that's what he got to worry about, because that's his opponent. So it just looked bad. And you guys know, the Haniacs know deep down inside, that's why they try to silence me. They try to hurl insults or this and leave negative comments, and they think that's going to change something. But I'm a man on a mission, believe that. And I'm going to get my message across and get my point across, come hell or high water, right? This looks bad. And notice the Haniacs, they won't reply to any of this. They'll just act like it looks good or avoid it totally, and act like, every move the Haneys makes them look good, which we know is not the case. So shut the F up. Get off they D, bruh. Always talking about Vada, but your son working with the cheater. See? It's because you can't trust Victor Conte. He making y'all look suspect. They got Devin looking like Sherman Klump from the Nutty Professor. You know what I mean? This is Bill Haney's own post, and the Haniacs won't talk about it, so I guess I got to. They're afraid of being set up by the Illuminati. VADA is no longer as credible, Bill. People want other agencies in boxing, not VADA. Why are you so obsessed with proving Devin is clean? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, Devin never failed a test, so you keep showing us that he's passing all his tests. That's what it should be. You're supposed to pass all your tests. So this looks bad, and you're making it look, F you, your son, and VADA. You Haneys are canceled. What's the deadline, and did they pass it? Devin, the only true champion out here fighting, just scared to get tested. Again, Nobody is on this protocol. You guys look stupid. I don't know what is going on here. Bill, you a BZ like the chinny and pillow-fisted Devin. You use Vada so you can rehydrate 25 pounds. This just making you look more and more sus. F you and Vada pimp. So clearly in your own Devin as a kid, AI pictures. They got Victor Conti in the FBI probe. I mean, stop bringing up Vada because you sucking the skin. You suck the skin off that old man. See, you know what I mean? F you, F Devin, F Vada. So clearly you're not getting the respect and the response from even the fans. So if the fans don't seem to care and you're like putting them off and it's off-putting, then to me, you're making it worse for your son because people are saying you guys are crybabies, and it's getting very hard to argue that when you keep doing these stunts. Oh, when are these fighters enrolling? Bro, you are not the police. What are we talking about? If you want to be a cop, go to the police academy or something and get you a badge and go get certified or whatever. Go through the obstacle course and basic. If you want to be a cop that bad, like, bro, what is going on? Bill Haney keep trying to police Vada and make sure people sign up, and no one's taking him seriously. Like, it'd be one thing. Like, see, this is why the Haney be mad at me, because when I speak and people listen and they like, man, that boy ego cooking. He making some real good points. Bill is abusing social media. So when he speaks, it's having no effect. Nobody like believes you. You need more people. So in your effort to make people look like cheaters or this newfound paranoia because Devin got cheated, you're making it worse for your son because the fans are looking at it and they're like, we don't care. We don't trust Vada. So having this that you see on the screen where you're showing Devin passed a drug test, whoop-de-in-doo-doo, like whoop-de-effing-doo-doo, you're supposed to pass all your tests. Devin don't have no power anyway, so most people ain't even accusing him of being on roids, at least roids that help you with any type of power. So again, to each his own. Let Bill be Bill and keep doing it. And I'm going to keep making videos and stating my opinion on it. This looks bad, and this is the ultimate crash out. You have to bear in mind the Haneys are not the only fighters in the history of the sport that have been cheated, right? There's other guys like Deontay Wilder and Povetkin. His fight got canceled for Povetkin, and he wasn't on a SARM. He was on Meldonium, which is more extreme and more hardcore. Now I know the fans, they like, oh, but ego, Wilder didn't fight Povetkin because they found out before the fight took place. Touche. That is accurate. Wilder didn't actually fight Povetkin because they were able to catch it. Unfortunately for Devin, it didn't work the same. So I could do this all day. I know they can't. There are fighters like Frank Martin who went through with the fight, and it wasn't known until after, just like Devin versus Ryan, that they popped dirty. Frank Martin versus Michel Rivera. Michel Rivera was undefeated. He was bigger than Frank Martin. He has power and athleticism. He was confident, and he later tested positive. But guess what? Frank Martin dropped him and soundly defeated him and looked very good in that fight. That's a slept-on Frank Martin performance that y'all don't even give Martin credit for. People still calling him a prospect. And then they had that great undefeated versus undefeated match, and Frank Martin pushed through. But because Frank Martin later became attached to Gervonta Davis, they know if they give credit to Frank Martin, in turn, it gives credit to Gervonta Davis. So the Haneyacks, the Shakur fans, the Keyshawn fans, and just the overall Tank haters, they don't want Frank Martin to appear as a good fighter because it inadvertently makes Tank look better because he knocked him out and beat him. So they rather just dismiss Frank Martin when we know he's a great fighter. But he fought a guy who tested positive after the fact, and it didn't look like Devin looked like versus Ryan. Oscar De La Hoya, I do believe he makes a strong case to be. He fought a guy like Fernando Vargas and knocked him out. And then it was later revealed that Vargas had steroids, something harder than Ostarine in his system. Yet Oscar defeated a very ferocious Fernando Vargas, right? And that was a high stakes fight. Two Mexican Americans from SoCal, blah, blah, blah. There was some bad blood there. And De La Hoya pushed through. So I didn't just give you Wilder Povetkin analogy. I gave you analogies of two fights where the person won and their opponent later tested positive. A third fight is Kell Brook knocked out Amir Khan, and Amir Khan, it was revealed after the fight, after the outcome, Amir Khan had the same exact drug, Ostarine, in his system. So I named 4 fights. Three of the fights I named, the drug test failed. The banned substance was not revealed until it was too late, just like Devin Haney. The difference with Devin Haney is he got scraped by Ryan Garcia, a guy who's never been a champion. Amir Khan has been a champion, and Kell Brook knocked him out, even with the Ostarine, right? Fernando Vargas, the top fighter of the day, De La Hoya knocked him out. Michelle Rivera, undefeated, again, bigger than Frank Martin, later tested positive. None of these fights look like that. The Haneyacks are hanging on and clinging to dear life, trying to explain away like why Devin performed so badly. And then now his dad is full on police academy, RoboCop, basically accusing everybody of being on something with no proof and insinuating it, all because of what happened with Ryan Garcia. That's not right. Jose Ramirez, Rolly, they don't got nothing to do with Ryan's career. They don't have nothing to do with Ryan testing positive. And yet and still, you have Bill Haney up here making it sound like everybody who doesn't submit and do what Devin is doing, which I told you was going to be the case, everybody is on drugs. But look, here's Goody Two-Shoes, homeschool Devin, and he's negative for his test. Yeah, whipped in toto. Bro, nobody cares that Devin, who's never failed a drug test, continues to not fail a drug test. You're not going to win outside of the ring. You must beat Ryan Garcia clean, fair. I'm good with that. But you must defeat him. Otherwise, none of this stuff matters. People don't care about that. You can't just, you can do whatever you want, but insinuating that everybody's on drugs, good luck with that. If you have no proof, then you have no proof. People have speculated stuff about Pacquiao, but if you don't have no proof of it, then where could you really go with it? You know, then you got the Haneys who got a lawsuit, and then they're probably going to have to withdraw to proceed on Riyadh season and pull their lawsuit. The crash out continues. I had to give you this unpacked. They look very bad. But for more boxing news, subscribe to my channel. I don't see how you really win here. You know, showing, like, what are you going to do? You're just going to keep showing us that Devin Haney tested positive with VADA, who people feel Victor Conte is too closely associated with in the first place. And then you're going to keep posting these like, look, Devin posted his VADA January 10th, January 17th. It showed negative and there's no adverse findings. Is that the game plan? And then you're going to pressure everyone else in boxing to do 365? It's just not a plan that's going to work. And for 365 testing to be something that is efficient and effective, everybody got to be on board. So if Turki's the money man, tell him to pay for all Riyadh season fighters drug tests and say, hey, on Riyadh season, if you want to fight on our cards, William Zepeda and Tevin Farmer, if you do the rematch and you want to get this purse, you must do mandatory testing. Because Tevin Farmer said that William Zepeda, for that fight where he really should have won, he said they didn't even do no testing. So again, there's a bigger and deeper problem, but at least Devin Haney, if he fights on Riyadh season and Turkey supposedly has so much money, then why doesn't Turkey say, hey, we want to do it the right way. We work with the WBC in the capacity They got the clean boxing program. To get these purses on our cards, it's mandatory you do year-round testing. They're not doing that. This from Devin is voluntary and it's optional. So until Riyadh season makes it mandatory that everybody that fights, so that whole February 22nd, Floyd Schofield, Shakur, Arthur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, Joseph Parker, who looks huge right now, Daniel Dubois, put them on year-round testing. Then you have some traction because at least the Riyadh season cards are randomly tested year-round before, during, and after their fights. But so far that hasn't been the case. So the Haneys are the only ones doing it. And now to try to prove a point, they've resorted to basically insinuating everybody's on drugs because no one's following their lead. Down bad. We unpack.